Production funding for Flying Squirrels Insider is made possible in part by
Clean water is one of our most valuable resources. Conserving it should be all of our responsibility. Remember every day to make every drop count. Wash full loads, take shorter showers, turn off your faucet. Water, use it wisely. Let's commit to conserve.
and by Medarva, providing mobile vision and hearing screenings to prepare preschoolers for kindergarten.
Hey guys, I got a card for Jay if anybody wants to sign it.
Hey, I will.
Rest in peace. He's not dead.
What?
No, nothing bad happened. It's just his 50th show.
I thought it was...
Think there's time for me to return these?
Get ready for another episode of Flying Squirrels Insider. The summer is heating up, and the team has some catching up to do in the Eastern League. Squirrels lefty Matt Gage stops by the set to talk to Sam Ravech and share some pitching tips. Plus, we take you on the road to visit the newly opened Dunkin' Donuts Park in Hartford, Connecticut. And finally, this week, we salute our host, Jay Burnham. We'll take a look back at the highlights and lowlights from Jay's 50 episodes. Have fun! Go nuts! FSI starts right now.
Welcome to another edition of Flying Squirrels Insider. This, however, is not just any normal insider. This is a special edition of Flying Squirrels Insider. It is, in fact, my broadcast partner Jay Burnham's 50th episode. And I said, wow, 50, Jay must really be old. And in fact, he is. So we have a special we have a special video of a compilation of Jay and all the episodes that he has been involved in here at WCVE and with the Flying Squirrels. So thank you, Jay, for being such a great support system and a great person to learn from.
All right, let me give it a shot here. This is going to sound stupid out loud.
Ahora sí viene el lanzamiento de... Ahí viene el lanzamiento y se va la pelota y gol!
And here's the 2-2 pitch called strike Earnhardt. And we're going to break with the Squirrels down. Dell Jr. to 4.
My name's Jay. I've spent the past 6 years broadcasting Major League Baseball games.
Come on, 3, follow the baseball. You're killing me, Smalls.
Focus, breathe out your eyelids, and go get them.
Did I get a butt pat? Okay. And here comes ground ball number 1. But as you can see, he's kind of already tilted Jay Burnham over there. We will give you the caveat that Jay is left-handed, so he dropped that one completely.
Dumb question for a guy that doesn't know a lot about cars.
Yeah.
Where do you change the oil?
If I give it like a deep voice like this, all right? Let me try that, because I'm Tyler Horan's beard.
I'm going to clap once. You're going to load and stride. And the second clap, you're going to go ahead and swing. You ready? Here we go. Load and stride in the first one.
Here we go, here we go.
All right, here comes the palm ball. Ball. Dodgers. Ball. Ball 2. Dodgers. Ball. Oh, yeah, I can't throw strikes.
Now it's my turn to see what Dan's got, wiffle ball style.
Oh, the knuckler. For me.
Prepare, stop. Sorry, guys. There's a strong, rotten odor.
15-game losing streak in the cards for the Flying Squirrels. I'm going to go out on a limb and guarantee that because of what's transpiring in the.
Well, I did say 15-game losing streak. Sorry, Squirrels fans, that 14-gamer is on me. I will make a bold proclamation. Greg, there's no more bold proclamations.
How could they lose for 14? They had Slater and Moreno and Mejia and
Rogers. Duck and Chuck. You gotta love that. That's Duck and Chuck's one of the best things you've said. But
that's a thing
that
now.
Right there is, I don't know, man.
I like YouTube, man. You can't take that down.
The beauty is that you said it with such conviction, and you went on a limb, but it was on a very high tree, and then you fell, and it was face first. So there it is, right there.
I was like a politician right there. I will not.
Just stamp it down.
And then it came close.
And welcome back in the Flying Squirrels Insider. Already a whole lot of me in that video. I can't imagine. I really appreciate the crew here for putting that together. 50 episodes, huh? What'd you think?
Well, I thought a couple of things. One, it shows how old you are, and two, shows how young I am. But no, 50 episodes, Jay, it's an accomplishment, and it's an honor to be learning from a guy like you. So.
We had a lot of big league players in that video as well. Matt Duffy, Christian Arroyo showing us how to do some things on FSI Field. So it's been a real fun ride here, and we got a show to bring to you today. We're going to be joined by Matt Gage on set. We're also going to learn how to properly toss a helmet. But before that, we'd like to remind you that Flying Squirrels Insider is brought to you by Utility Buddy from the City of Richmond Department of Public Utilities. They make us aware of rain that falls on hard surface areas. They can pick up pollutants and carry them to Richmond's waterways without being treated. Help keep our waterways stay clean. Call 646-7000 or visit richmondgov.com and click Storm Water Utility. Also, a big thanks to our friends at Madarva providing childhood screenings, hearing and vision to those in need, helping detect early problems in youngsters around the Richmond region. All right, with that said, you can also scratch off to win free stuff. Text FSI to 63975 with mobile marketing services provided by Opt-in Technologies. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase necessary. With that said, I'm Jay, he's Sam, and Sam, let's start with the Squirrels. On the field, they haven't had the wins that you would like. They're 3-4 on the most recent road trip, but they did something that they've only done once in the team history the other day.
They turned a triple play, Jay, and that's something you don't see very often. I mean, it's one of the more rare plays in baseball, although it was one of the easier ways to turn a triple play with Randall Moreno, an unassisted triple play, stepping on second with the catch and throwing it first. Right. But still, the second triple A in franchise history, that's an exciting thing to see.
It sure was. It came at the right moment for Matt Gage, who earned his second victory of the season. The Flying Squirrels turned their first triple play on May 23rd, 2013, with a guy by the name of Joe Panic.
Yeah, so. just Joe Panic. Yeah.
So Randall Moreno joins a pretty good company in terms of turning a triple play for the Flying Squirrels.
He certainly does, and he's been really sure-handed to help the Squirrels on the defensive side.
Well, let's talk about some of the offense for the Flying Squirrels as Richmond lost Chris Shaw up to AAA. We've talked about that. We wish him the best of luck. They did receive, however, Miles Schroeder, who was at extended spring working back from an injury, and Schroeder's the guy that really provides a lot for this team.
He can do it all. I mean, he's the guy that can play catcher, he can play left field, third base, he can hit, and he can get hit by a pitch, Jay. Like we were talking about earlier. He told me this is my box. I'm not going to move for anybody. I'm going to stay here. If I get hit, that's what's going to happen. But this is my box, and I think that's a guy that I want on my team.
Yeah, 28 times he's been hit by a pitch while wearing a Richmond Flying Squirrels uniform. That is a franchise record, but it says a little bit about Miles as who he is as a baseball player.
Yeah, it certainly does, and he's not going to kind of back down. He's a tough guy, but it also shows just how mentally tough he is too, because this is such a mental game, and he is able to stand in there. He's able to do everything for this team, whether it's play first base, get a clutch base hit when the team needs one, which they have been needing quite a while now.
Yeah, the offense needs to pick things up for the Flying Squirrels. Richmond receiving some guys with big league experience, so you would think that the team would have a few more wins in the win column. We know those are coming your way in the month of June, but Sam, you add Colin Ballister, a guy that's appeared in over 80 big league games, and he has certainly helped solidify the back end of the bullpen.
I mean, wow, Colin Ballister has really impressed so far this season, Jay. In just a handful of appearances so far, Ballister has kind of baffled the opponent's bats, and he's not only provided that back end of the bullpen sort of help, but what he's also done is kind of fired up this team in a way way, he'll come off the mound and he'll show some emotion. And I think that emotion is kind of what this team needs.
And this guy was a former top prospect with the Washington Nationals, coming through this league a decade ago. Played in Korea just briefly last year, was injured, and so could be a solid find for the San Francisco Giants. Ballister added with the big league experience of Slade Heathcott, who continues to lead the way for the Flying Squirrels, hit his 7th home run in Hartford last week.
Yeah, Slade Heathcott can get it done. He's that rare kind of occurrence where you see some power at the leadoff spot as well, and what he does in center field, we all know, and we got to see on the Flying Squirrels Insider episode a couple of weeks ago. But he not only provides that veteran presence, and we know what he did at the major league level. We know the famous Slade Heathcott home run against the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2015. It was a 3-run home run in just his 6th game up in the big leagues to put the team up on top in the top of the 9th. So he has that big league experience, and it's exciting to watch him play.
So the Squirrels do have the tools. They're going to try to make a run here in June to make things a little bit better. Richmond throwing Tyler Sear into the closer's role. He shut down his 4th game of the season the other day in Hartford. He's 4 for 4 in save opportunities.
Yeah, Jay, what Tyler Sear does is he throws hard. And he not only throws hard, but he can fool you with that curveball that comes 12-6. And he'll change up the velocities as well. He'll change up the batter's eye level, and that curveball will come in the dirt. So what he has is that ability to strike you out, but he also has the ability to play to contact and trust his defense as well.
Eastern League All-Star voting is underway. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention what Miguel Gomez has done. He's amongst the top 5 in batting average in the Eastern League. And oh, by the way, had the longest hitting streak of the season for the Flying Squirrels.
Yeah, I mean, it's been unbelievable what he's been able to do for this team, Jay. I mean, at the end of April, he was batting a mere .299, right? And then at the end of May...
Woeful .299.
Right, at the end of May, he's batting .355.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's just been solid. He's been that consistent factor as well as that 13-game hit streak.
Yeah, and it was the longest hitting streak since Steven Duggar set the franchise record last year at 19 games. Squirrels home this weekend against the Trenton Thunder. They're the best in the Eastern League, so their work cut out for them, but they're going to know where they stack up against the best that the league has to offer.
Yeah, and this is kind of one of those series where you could see the Squirrels sneak out a couple of wins and maybe even come out with a series win. I was talking to pitching coach Steve Klein about that yesterday. He said, look, these guys have really solid pitchers that have low ERAs. But all it takes is a couple of base hits and a couple of runs to come across the board, and anything can really happen in these games.
Yeah, those feel like the type of games the Flying Squirrels need to win 3-2, 2-1. We'll also mention here before we have to go, Austin Slater called up to the major leagues, former Flying Squirrel. He's set to make his big league debut, so congratulations to him.
Yeah, congratulations. It's always good to see these guys that come through the Flying Squirrels and the AA levels, and it's always good to see them succeed.
Always a pleasure, Sam.
Thank you, Jay.
All right, more to come here on Flying Squirrels Insider. We're just getting started.
On the road again with the Richmond Flying Squirrels. I'm coming at you from downtown Hartford, Connecticut, outside Dunkin' Donuts Park, home of the Hartford Yard Goats at the corner of Main and Pleasant Street. Now, this facility opening up this season to the tune of $63 million after some construction delays forced the team to play the entire 2016 season on the road. Well worth the wait. This ballpark, part of a larger revitalization project for a part of town known as Downtown North, or Dono to the locals. So $400 million of renovation and revitalization money being pumped into this area, the ballpark, step one of that project. Busy intersection for sure, but this area, the Hartford Courant, the local newspaper, called a barren stretch of land north of downtown. And what they're trying to do is bring in that new investment in development. So there's still some work to be done here, but you can already see how many people early before the game are bustling around this area.
Someone has to be the first one in, and a baseball stadium is a natural thing to do. Now that the baseball stadium's here, the hope is some of the surrounding empty parking lots will fill in. They had a Hard Rock Cafe ready to go at one point. They had a grocery store. They had some high-rise condominiums. So I think that that'll naturally just come about over the course of maybe 4, 5, 6 years.
When you walk in, I mean, the ballpark really grabs you. You know, for the fans, the wow factor is still sticking around. Yeah, steam fires out of that. Yeah, when the Yard Goats hit a home run. So It's got to be the biggest Dunkin' Donuts cup in the world, Jay, right? I mean, it's gigantic. Sits above that 40 by 80 high-def video board out in left field. There's the element of surprise now, where's the ball going to go over the fence, where with the 16-foot walls before, you know, it never happened. Now you see guys bring one back, and fans have the opportunity to catch home runs as well. You get to walk around and you can watch a yard goat or a flying squirrel outfielder rob a home run. We saw that happen the other day. And this is the better-built basement's dugout suite. And obviously, you got a pretty good look at the baseball here. I mean, it's like you're part of the action. You're basically in the dugout. That Hartford Stag, it was actually really cool, Jay. They shut down Trumbull Street and they put it on a crane and they actually lifted it into the spot that it's in right now.
You can see left field has a couple little angles on it, and it goes really deep in center field and the corners, but you got a short power alley at 362 in front of the picnic area. We'll see how it plays, but right now I'm going to guess this stadium along with Reading and Erie are going to be the 3 home run ballparks in the league. So I think this is very similar to what we would love to do in Richmond. But I think in Richmond, we'd probably want maybe another 1,000 seats. So a lot of this has the same features of not only this ballpark, but many ballparks, minor league ballparks across the country.
We continue on Flying Squirrels Insider, and I'm now joined by starting pitcher for the Flying Squirrels, left-hander Matt Gage. And Matt, thanks for joining us in studio today.
Not a problem.
Before we get to baseball, because it is such a long season and there's a lot of baseball to be played, we see a lot of baseball. We got to go out on the golf course up in Hartford when we went to play the Yard Goats, and we actually played with my dad, and we played with Aaron Boone. But not only did we just play with them, we actually beat them in best ball, and that was a feat to be proud of.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun just getting off the baseball field and getting on the golf course. And, you know, your dad and Aaron Boone are good guys. It was fun just talking baseball and swinging some clubs.
And they talk a lot of trash, too, so it was fun to give it back to them and actually win. So let's get to this season so far. Now you're in your 3rd season with the Flying Squirrels, and just talk a little bit about what it's been like to come back as a veteran presence a little bit on this team with some young arms in the bullpen as well as in the starting rotation.
Yeah, I mean, me being the 3rd year coming here, it's just kind of more or less at the beginning of the year I was telling them, you know, from the difference between the A ball and double A, guys change their swings from pitch to pitch, and it's not from at bat to at bat. Some teams will go in and change their approach where, you know, one time they'll try to hit a home run first pitch and next time they're just trying to slap a single. But now that the season's getting going, you know, I'm kind of stepping back a little bit and just kind of worried about myself a little bit. And guys are trying to figure it out, and it's good because we have one of the best pitching staffs in the league.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and I think that everybody's able to kind of take a little bit of everything from each other in the starting rotation as well and learn from, of course, pitching coach Steve Klein. What have you taken away over your career now, and you've had a good relationship with pitching coach Steve Klein over the years? What have you taken away from some of his advice and just some of his leadership?
Klein's a great guy. You know, he lives on the field. You know, he always has a sweatshirt on for some reason. I don't know why, but you know, he brings the mental side of the game. You know, at the lower levels, it's really mechanical based, but with Klein, it's really mental side of the game. You know, reading swings, watching the guys, how they want to attack, watch their front shoulder, and it's a scouting report, really. And with Klein, it's very easy to, you know, expand your game a little bit. So it's a lot of fun learning from him.
All right, you went to Siena College in upstate New York. Of course, it snows a lot up there, and now with the Major League Draft coming up, I want to talk a little bit about some of the benefits to going to college and some of the benefits of just going straight out of high school, because that's a topic of controversy that's been talked about a lot in the baseball world and amongst baseball pundits. So what is your take on the importance of college, or maybe I should have gone out of high school?
For me personally, I definitely couldn't have came out of high school just because I had to develop a little bit more. You know, I didn't throw hard enough. I wasn't a guy. So I had to definitely go to college and learn and, you know, progress and, you know, mature. For me, looking at the draft, it could work two ways. You know, I think that a lot of guys should have to go to college just because of the sheer fact they have to grow up. But from a baseball's perspective, being in professional, you know, I think the draft kind of screws with college players. It kind of doesn't help them because, you know, you go to college for 3 years. Well, now you just wasted three years of your career and professional side of things. So now MLB baseball is kind of like, all right, everyone has the same thing, so now you have to wait, you know, 5 years, 6 years till, you know, your 40-man year and then 7 years until you sign a contract. Well, now you got guys signing a contract, new contract when they're 23, and you got a college guy signing a new contract when he's, 28. So, it doesn't really work for the college guys. So I wish they'd change that rule a little bit and help out the college guys and, shorten that down a little bit, because we went to college, we got a little bit of an education, and, guys who graduate college, they have their education.
Right, and it seems like it's kind of a case-by-case scenario, but that's a good take there from Matt Gage. A lot more coming up on Flying Squirrels Insider. Matt Gage will stay with us as well. We're going to talk about the plethora of pitches that Gage has in his arsenal. Keep it right here.
I hate having to wait in line to order coffee. Last week I was behind a woman whose coffee order took 10 minutes. She spouted on about an order for a venti mocha unicorn Pegasus frappuccino with multicolored sprinkles. I have to suffer and waste my time because of that? Everyone, listen up. Here's how you order a cup of coffee. Large, dark, coffee, black. When they ask you if you want room for cream, just stare into their souls to let them know you want your coffee as black as a starless Texas night, and any additional room left at the top of the cup would be a waste of my money. I don't want no fancy gimmicks, no long lines, no whipped cream. Beards? Well, we long for a more simple time in this country.
All right, we're here at FSI Field with starting pitcher Matt Gage. And although Gage throws hard, he doesn't throw 95 to 100 miles an hour like some pitchers nowadays. So some lefties are known as crafty. They have to rely on some deception as well. And Matt, can you tell us a little bit about your pitching style and some of the different arm angles you use?
Yeah, I just kept learning from, going up through the levels. But naturally, I'm a 3/4 guy, but, I'll get as high as, from here. I get it naturally as high as here or even sidearm.
And what does that do to the pitch, and what does that, how does that deceive the batter?
It just kind of makes the ball move a little bit more left to right, up and down. It's just kind of moving the ball around to show different angles, have the guy's eyes go up and down, left and right.
And I think at a young age in particular, it's important to know that's not how hard you throw, it's just being able to get those outs, and you've been able to do that over the course of your career.
Yeah, talking with Steve Klein, he doesn't care about how hard you throw or how soft you throw. It's about getting guys out. That's the name of the game.
Now, you change arm angles, but you also change your footing on the slab. Can you take us through how that shifts depending on who you're facing?
Yeah, versus a left-handed batter, I like to be on this side of the rubber just because, I like to throw on lines. Greg Maddux used to talk about, he wants to create a deception crossing the plate. So versus a lefty, I try to go diagonally to him. Versus a righty, I like to go diagonal to him.
Oddly enough, that's how I take my bowling. I go one side and throw it to the other. Can you show us briefly here the different pitches that you throw? And keep in mind, you have the different pitches and with the different arm angles and the different places on the rubber, that creates a variety of options for you.
Yeah, I throw a sinker and then I throw a two-seam as my fastballs. And then this is where it kind of gets a little odd because I throw my curveball, my slider, and my cutter off from the same perspective.
So those are the same grip, just different angles.
Right. So with a curveball, I'm getting on top of it a little bit more. I might get a little higher. Slider, I'm on the side of it. Cutter, I'm behind of it. And then I have a nice little split change.
That's the more advanced, you got to really get that grip down.
Yeah, exactly.
But for some of the younger pitchers coming up, they're going to teach you to try and repeat your mechanics. So I would suggest once you're comfortable with your initial mechanic, then maybe experiment a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Just try to move the ball around, do different things with your feet and hands, but let you develop a little bit first, and then try to command the zone a little bit more.
We're going to bring in my broadcast partner, Sam Ravech. He's going to willingly stand in against Matt Gage. And in case you didn't hear, there was a bit of a kerfuffle in Major League Baseball. Former Flying Squirrel Hunter Strickland hit one of the more prominent players in the game, Bryce Harper, and a melee ensued. Now, you should never hit anybody intentionally, and you should never throw your helmet, but here on FSI Field, we can have a little fun. So we're going to pretend that Sam hit a big home run against
Matt a couple of years ago, and he's held a grudge. Matt's going to deal him a pitch, and Sam's not going to be happy about it. Boom, right in the hip. Here comes Sam.
All right, hold on. So you're doing this all wrong.
You want to avoid an errant helmet toss.
Yeah, you know, you see Bryce Harper, he threw his helmet in the right field. So, you know, with the ear flaps, it's going to take it aerodynamically if you throw it this way or this way. So you almost have to throw it like this and throw it as a Frisbee.
All right, Frisbee toss. Let's get one in, shall we? We've got Parney over in the corner. Sam had a long day. He's a little irate at Parney. Let's see if he can get his toss in. Oh, off the side of the hip. And that is all we have for today. Matt, thanks for being here, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, for Sam Ravech, a big thanks to our entire crew here at WCVE Studios. Show number 50 for me, Bryant Dameron, Gwen Brown, and Craig Keaton, and the rest of y'all. We really appreciate all the success and fun we've had over the years. Until next time, my name's Jay Burnham saying so long, everybody.
Production funding for Flying Squirrels Insider is made possible in part by
Smell gas? Act fast. Don't just stand there. Leave the area. Get out. Go where the smell is no longer present and call 911. Making you aware, keeping you safe. We're Richmond's Natural Gas Safety Awareness Program.
and by Medarva, providing mobile vision and hearing screenings to prepare preschoolers for kindergarten.